Hey everybody, welcome to the Alpha Novus live stream cartography thing. Hey Bill, good to see you there. Have we got something today for you guys? New version of ArtRage just unexpectedly came out, and they have been listening to us, and we're gonna go over some doozy of some features that they came out with. We got a copy of ArtRage 6. This is not a review. The reason for that is I'm not an average user of ArtRage. I'm a very niche user. I've kind of customized it to do maps, but there are some really big changes to it. I've been playing with it since, well, all day Monday night, all day this morning. And the features on it are amazing. The customizable features. There's some really kind of cool things in ArtRage 5, and they've gone to the next level and really made it something incredible. I already own it. There is a significant discount for the upgrade. I believe it's like 50-70% off or something like that. When I saw it come out, I just scooped it up. It is a new upgrade, so give it there might be some bugs in it. I'm hammering it very, very, very hard. I haven't pulled one of my big maps out, but I have loaded a bunch of smaller maps into it. Well, small, I mean by 650 megs to gig. And it seems to just handle fine. All my old files and settings were exported into it. So let's go ahead and get started really quick. And we're just gonna launch into some features. After the features, we'll go into one of our maps in an hour, and I'm gonna show you the new technique we've been working on. And I'm also gonna we'll show you the new brush feature. And I'm also going to show you the new technique we are working on. If you're new to the channel, again, my name is Dan. We are going to be doing some maps today. We are also going to start a process of making three-dimensional maps to be 3D printed. We're starting on that for the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to take you through that process, how to make your own 3D printable maps, where you can upload them to a 3D, either print them on your own 3D printer, or upload them to a 3D printing service. So all through ArtRage. If you have ArtRage, this feature works on ArtRage 5 and ArtRage 6. So if you have either of those programs, you can actually print your very own 3D printed map and upload that, or use your own 3D printer with height elevations, make your own brushes and anything else like that. Let's get right into it. This is going to be kind of a long one. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Here we go. Okay, this is one of our older maps that we've done before. This might be very familiar. Let's go right into the biggest thing right off the bat, and it is our newest canvas settings. Okay, this is a canvas setting menu. If you've been in here, you're familiar. Here's the real-time lighting, canvas color, opacity, metallic. The big one right here is the lighting angle and intensity. Okay, with new versions, I always, of course, keep a little notepad open to record my settings. This has been a feature that the forums have been downright begging for it for a long time. And it is new, it is awesome, and here we go. Okay, we can now change the individual lighting angle of the map. It might not seem like a big deal, but it is a huge deal for anyone working in photography or anyone using a lot of paint. The big deal on this is that since we are not only stacking the volume of paint, and ArtRage is keeping track of not only what is there and not only what paint is there, but it has a totally new lighting system that is keeping track of which way the light is pointing on it. We also now have a way to increase the intensity of the lighting. So we now have a real-time lighting effect that keeps track of intensity and lighting angle. as you can see right now, I am just adjusting it on the fly. It is like a real-time emboss feature and a real-time embossing bitmap feature. It's everything I love about like Photoshop, and the filters I love about GIMP. Let's zoom in. Let's go over here. Okay, this is kind of what it looked like originally. And we get up the intensity for a really strong height map. You don't have to worry about anything like that. Why is this important? Well, let me show you some other things. Why this is also very important if you're just working with... Let's go kind of move with a little brighter canvas color. If you are doing a canvas color or any type of textures or anything like that, let's find a really good one. Decorative. Let's get concrete. Okay. If you're working with concrete palette with any kind of brushes, you're pretty much, you can change the angle of your canvas lighting, and that is huge. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this one because we have a ton of other maps to go over. So you can't change the detail. Yeah, it is a huge deal. It is, you can adjust the detail, you can adjust the intensity. It is, people have been just begging for it. Another reason it's a huge deal is that we can now change the orientation of a map if we don't like it. And then we can go in and change the lighting effect so it matches what we did before, and it keeps the same lighting effect. It used to be you couldn't do this. It used to be if there was an orientation, it would just keep the lighting effect the way it was. It was kind of a pain. And it is a whole new lighting system, and it is a real-time lighting system. Okay? Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Let me explain why. Again, this is one of our older maps that we've done. Let's go ahead and into a new painting again. Let's print size, use window size, that's fine. We're going to go to a white canvas. Okay, another reason why this is a big deal is that since we have a new lighting system, we also have a new customized brush system. Let's get rid of that. Let's go to our customized brush system. Presets here. Our new brush designer works hand in hand with this lighting system. Usually what we would do in the past to create 3D textures, we'd go in with like add... The technique we've used before is would add a kind of a layer and then do something like this with glitter to add mountains with cartography. It's kind of a technique that we've always used. It's gotta make sure this is matching. Okay, then we go in. This is just kind of a review of the technique we've also always used. Go in and do this. Let's go ahead and 250 that. Blur that out, then move into our harsh chaos, couple steps, give it a texture. I'm gonna create this kind of cool little mountain effect that everybody loved. Okay, very cool, everybody's happy, yada yada yada. And again, the lighting system really shows that we can increase the intensity of that to show the detail. We can back off a little bit if we don't want to. Okay. So we've taken that kind of a step farther. We've grown in the last 6 months or so. Yeah, thank you, Jody. This will be on YouTube so you can see the whole thing. So we kind of have taken this taking this kind of in the next step further. We've now created kind of this pseudo new approach. We've kind of now taken this, we've made alpha channels. This is the new technique we've used. We make an alpha channel pattern above it, we lock the transparency, we take a glitter effect, or we take the, big brush effect, we take our gray, and then we just add that to it, and we get this kind of cool little realistic texture, okay? This still works great, works wonderfully, and then we can go back, canvas setting, and again, more detail, and with this lighting system, we can change the direction, okay? Still pretty cool, okay? Now let's take it up a notch. Now, I'm gonna admit right now, I'm not 100% familiar with the brush, but I've been playing around with it. Hold on to your butts. So we're gonna go into our customizer, okay? The way we do this is we select the customizing, we choose where we want our brush. So let's say, here's some customized brushes. We got this cool little brush that we can make. It's all in real time. Okay, some clouds and stuff like that. Maybe a feathered effect. And again, it's real time. And let's say we like one of these brushes. Hey, we got grass or whatever. Owl cloud or whatnot. These are kind of fun. Maybe some blending brushes if we have, let's say we have nature brush. We make a blending brush. Okay, really neat. Brush Designer lets us go in and we can change the head of it, we can change the blending, we can change the stroke, we can change the color pickup, and we can also change the texture. We have complete and total control all in real time. And we can also see, let's close this and actually grab not a blender brush so you can see. And all in real time, we can change each and every aspect of the brush, test it out, and see exactly what it does, the different ways we can modify it, and the ways we can change it. This was present in ArtRage 5, okay? Really cool. All right, now comes the fun part. We're gonna make a new brush. We're going to call this Mountain Brush 1. We're going to put this in my brush. And we're going to store color. We're going to store size. Mountain Brush 1. And we're going to go to Brush Designer. Oh, this is going to be fun. I have previously made some... Oh, not that. Ignore that. Using a technique by online tabletop role RPG. Go to his channel. I'll link it below. We've made some alpha brushes. Okay, really easy. It takes about 5-10 minutes at the very most to get done. Okay, here it is. Yada yada yada. Yay! Everybody's happy. Okay. And these are just JPEGs, nothing fancy, nothing crazy, no exporting brushes. Saved it as a JPEG. Okay, I'm now going to load my brush head. Find the directory. Let's see which one I want to do. I like that brush head. Now I'm going to select the grain. Load brush grain. You know what? Let's go ahead and match that. All right. And now I have that grain. That's kind of cool. Okay. Get rid of the spacing so I have a really cool brush head there. I don't have to go into the sticker spray anymore. So let's say I like that. Let's say that's good. And I can like bring that in. And this is a realistic texture. And it's the same method. We can lock that down. We can grab our big thing of paint. and we can have that realistic texture effect that we just did. Okay? Exactly, Bill, you're exactly. It could be made to use top-down trees. What I've done, I've experimented, I'm not there yet. I can go online and find an actual forest, a real forest, make it a black and white image, and actually put it, a photorealistic forest, in the map with a brush designer, create a texture, and actually put it in my ArtRage painting. We're not talking about a little sticker spray. We're not talking about a template. We're talking a real life brush in 3 dimensions. Let's go a step further, okay? We go back to our brush designer. We like this brush. We're back to our brush designer. This is where the new lighting system comes in. This little guy here that says texture, okay? Apply paint texture. Loading. It applies, we can actually apply the loading at the same time. We now don't need to fill it in with the glitter. We don't need to fill it in with anything else. We apply it in real time. So I'm actually putting down a 3-dimensional texture in real time with those realistic mountains. Okay, hold down Control to do a straight line if you feel like it. Granted, I have some dither and stuff in this brush as well. Okay, so ArtRage has done all that for us. They've been listening to everything on the forums. I hope they watch some of the videos. This is really neat because it makes the cartography side of ArtRage very cool, very quick, and very fast. What it was originally designed to do, let's go into that and I'll show you, is with the oil brush. It was originally designed to, let's grab a thick one, okay, to be able to go into an oil brush and simulate really thick oils in a gloss effect and like a rotation, so you could yeah, and it also makes it so you can grab actual images and create your own brushes. Okay, so this is with my stylus, and here, let's say I'm doing a cross section in a black and white face. And let's say I'm doing some concept art. I'm just blending with oils, and that's what I usually do for some concept art or anything like that. We start with the highlights. And then it's time for me to back off, bring in the thinners, but I also want the gloss to come up, gloss to come down in the highlight stuff. But I want my depth to increase so I can get that nice shadowy phase, the eye sockets and stuff like that. With the new, that is great, with the new lighting system, it gives me exactly what I need to do any concept art. But again, this is a map making podcast. Let's go ahead and look at some of the other maps that we've done, okay? Like this guy here, again, same thing with the lighting, but let's say we now want to add some more realistic mountains to this. So let's go back to our brush. Let's add another layer. Okay, we're going to put this again on blend mode. We're going to add, since there's a layer. Oh yeah, you don't have to go through the menus. You just can right click on the layer now. Get right click, bump blend mode, hit add. Okay, let's go to our custom brush. Double check it. Say, okay, I didn't save the brush, so we have to do this. However, since it, oops, my bad, I didn't save it. Let's try a different one. I kind of want a more rounded brush on this, but I'm going to mix my layer up. I'm going to choose a, what kind of a weird crosshatch thing? Let's go with higher opacity, little tapering, grain amount, a little bit of smoothing. Load the crap out of it, load the deposit out of it. There we go. I like that. Maybe not that much loading. Yeah, I want it to pull back. No dabbing. Maybe a little bit of dabbing. And again, play with it. There we go. A lot of control. A lot of control. Right now I'm just creating a texture that I want to add into this. See that much control you can put into there? And then we just can build it up very slowly with those two textures. Let's drop the grain size down. And now I'm making, with that grain size down, I'm making straight lines into it that I can follow the mountains. Or I can make little hills with that now, if I lower the grain progression. So let's say I wanted some of that. Let's go into the dipper. Let's find the same thing. And again, right click, blend, bump blend mode, add, sweet. I'm just adding some hills for some additional texture that was missing out on this. And it is that fast, no weird textures. I don't have to go in and reverse anything. I'm just adding stuff. Yeah, exactly. But like for little hills now, I don't have to go in and it just blends well. Now, okay, here's the next step. Let's say I'm in my map here. On our presets, we have now eraser mode for our same custom brushes. And now I'm going back in and controlling, and I'm erasing some of these weird... Okay, let's go. This is a bad example. This one doesn't look too good. I don't like these blocky mountains that we've done. So let's go in and let's get rid of some of these big mountains and make them look more natural. Okay? We can get rid of these. We can edit it. We can cut these down to size. And let's go in and we're going to go back to our brush designer here. Oh wait, I'm still in eraser mode. It's not going to show up in my brush designer. I want a little more control on this, but I also want it to go a little nuts. I don't want any tapering. I don't want any opacity tapering. I don't want any smoothing. Okay, let's go in here and we're going to edit these mountains so they don't look so... See that? You go back into your product, or whatever you're doing, and fix this. Well, thanks, Bill. I'm just really excited with this because you can go in and make some really fun things, and combined with a new technique we've been kind of, and actually, Bill, I'd say you're kind of responsible for a couple of these techniques, but you can see we're getting this. Honestly, this is going to be replacing my harsh chaos technique on a lot of stuff, because the more you do it, the better results you can get with a better texture. I've got to play with it. We'll get some new brushes, but I mean, we're going from like these like nasty little liney mountains into something like this that actually looks like kind of more of a realistic texturing, more of a realistic feel to hills and valleys. And like over here in these deserts, probably should use the pen. we can go in and create some really yeah, big props, very big props. Okay, so let's go ahead, and that's the big features I'm really excited, really excited for. There's some other stuff like grids and snap to grids and some drafting stuff and other things like custom color pickers, some photos. Some of it was present before. It's a lot more visible. It's a lot more clear. We're going to close some of these paintings now. Don't save. We'll close this guy too. Don't have to worry about that. And we're going to work on this. Stupid. Yeah, I kind of worked on this one a little bit. This was my test. And I redid these mountains down here. And we're actually going to be 3D printing this map. We've got our little, don't say that. Okay, we've got a prepared canvas here, and we're going to start with the technique, our newest technique that we've kind of developed. How we're going to do that is we're going to go with our brushes. These are our alpha brushes we've used. I kind of have my own preferences on the ones we want. These are also textures we have used in our other brushes. So we're going to start with this brush. We're going to make it fairly big. We're going to go 150. This is kind of the old technique, but it's a good one. We're going to use this, and then we're going to edit this with our newest brush. So I'm going to kind of go with this with a really gaudy color so you guys can see where I'm placing it. Let's actually get a lot bigger. And again, just spattering it anywhere I want. Don't want to hit it too much. Just thinking, we're just throwing it down. It doesn't really matter where you put it. The key is a lot of tight control. Again, with this technique, the key is to layering it. So we first go in with one layer, we add another layer, we choose another brush that we might want to see in here. Let's go with this one. This one we're going to name a new color. Press down hard on the, let's not do that. Let's go about 300 on this guy. And we're just going to do a couple of these, maybe one or two just here and there. All right, again, this is kind of the older technique, but it's a certain look we're going after, and there's a combination of techniques. These brushes will be available at avantnovus.com if you want to get your hands dirty with them, or whatever you want to do with them. And again, this is just the sticker spray. Just import them into your ArtRage file. Okay, we're now going to lock these up. I'll lock all, just lock transparencies. We're going to choose kind of a gray color for these. Let's go ahead and add this to the samples. We're going to grab our hard squeeze on this. Make it gray, come in, zoom in so everybody can see it. Oops, my bad. Bump modes, man, I'm loving that. Just hit add, and you can already see the realistic texture on this. Now, these look a little out of place, and they do look a little kind of, oh, look, mountain texture. We will be coming in with our new brushes that we're going to customize, and we will be editing these in eraser mode. Again, bump mode, add. That fast, that quick. We're going to be adding a lot of different layers and combining them so we get kind of a realistic look to these mountains. I find these mountains a lot better than what we did originally. It offers us a realistic, and then we just come in and shape these. Let's go ahead and add some more here. The key is we just throw these down kind of willy-nilly. Let's go with some of these. This one's kind of a fun one. And again, kind of got this mountain range forming right here, so we're gonna make these hills come down here. Kind of go off the paper here. Got a peninsula forming there. Maybe some other. That one's really, really. The brighter they are, the thicker they are. We're gonna lock that transparency. Come in with this gray. This is, with what they've done, this is actually getting almost too easy. I'm actually going to go directly with the glitter on this one because this texture is a little bit hard to see. Now, with this version of ArtRage, it is still new, so there might be one or two things creeping up in it that are a little unexpected. That's fine with any new program. But so far, with the size of the software we've been using, I haven't found anything yet. Just make sure you save your work. I haven't had a problem loading anything or importing anything. It actually imported all my old files just all swimmingly. So kind of have a nice little mountain base. I think it could use some more. But for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm not gonna spend too much time in this, for the simple fact that I've got a lot more to learn with this, the new features. I don't want to waste people's time with me guesstimating on stuff. So we have these new mountains, you know, they look pretty realistic. Let's add just one more layer, and we're going to go just crazy with this layer. Again, back to our pink, because that's showing up well. Go back to our sticker spray. Let's go with this one. This one's my favorite one. And we are just going to go absolutely nuts with this guy. There we go. Overlapping a little bit. Actually, let's modify the sticker spray a little bit. This is just a review. This is the same sticker variation, just the same as ArtRage 5. I want the rotation to be random, so we can just set that value at 100%. And I want the scale to be random too, at 100%. Close that off, and we're just going to go kind of nuts. It's a lot of big mountains. It's actually a little too big, so let's go ahead and reduce that size. Let's go about 250. Again, that's the highest value. Well, let's go about, I don't know, 150. Yeah, that works. And again, that feature is in ArtRage 5. Pretty standard. The only feature I'm using today that is new on this map is going to be editing these mountains. I'm going to combine them all and then edit them with the new brushes we've gotten. And I'm just hosing down everything with these. We're going to lock the transparency, change our brush to gray. Nope, forgot to do that. Bad Dan. Checking if I've missed any comments, because I'm bad at that. Oh, that's kind of weird. Nope, it's not. That's what it was designed. Okay, we're good. We're happy as a clam. All right, there we go. Going into our glitter. Oh, whoops, forgot to turn on the squares. There we go, now it's really going to pop. And it's everything you're used to with ArtRage 5. Nothing extremely changing, except the things we really wanted to change, especially with that new lighting. And that right there was a big one. I used to go in before, I used to render all maps like these. I'd make them in Photoshop, and then I'd take them down into GIMP, because the emboss, they had this color embossing filter in GIMP that was just the best. Okay, we got some cool mountains there. All right, let's go ahead and start merging layers. Control-Alt down. So another thing I've also noticed is that the layer manipulations are a lot... Oh, I just realized something that I didn't want to do that yet. So, my bad on that. I want to keep these layers separate. Control-Alt down. Welcome to the stream. I'm Dan. I'm making maps with ArtRage 6. New version just came out. Looks like a mess now, but it'll start looking a little better there. Again, we're going to go here and add locker layer. The layers, sometimes you have to add a little bit more mass into them, just like ArtRage 5. Once you blend them, but still same old, same old. All right. Here we go. Zooming in, we still have realistic mountains. Okay, we're now going to blend these. Gently blend these together with an instant blur. Going to come about 350 on this, drop this down to about 10 and 10. Pressure 10, softness 10. Come in here. Now I want to blend these slightly just because it's going to give me a nicer feel for when I come in and edit these up. There we go. Just like that. All right. Once I'm done with this, we'll make a new brush and we're going to edit these down. Okay, we're going to unlock that. We're going to go into our custom brushes. Let's go ahead and edit just this mountain brush one. Brush designer. Oops. Let's make the opacity really high in this one. Brush designer. Let's go with this. Let's go with this big one. And again, I am just loading brushes just right from a folder. I mean, honestly, I could just grab pretty much any picture I want. I mean, heck, I could just do that picture. Yeah, see? Now, because it's kind of that flat picture, it's going to be taken away more than it adds. That's fine. Let's go ahead and... That's stupid awesome. So it's gonna sink and then taper off, and that's kind of what we want on there. Meaning it's gonna push really hard. So we're gonna push on the mountain like that, and then we're going to move away from the mountain. Let's kind of get in there. We're gonna put this now on eraser mode. And again, sink hard, move away, sink hard, move away, sink hard, move away. See what we're doing there? We're making these nice little ridge backs now. Now I'm going to come in with my pen so I can control the pressure. And again, we can control the opacity of this if we're feeling things aren't going well. We can make our ridge lines. let's say I'm not liking that because I just used a picture, some concept art I did. Just some stupid concept art to make that brush. So let's go ahead and change that up. Ignore the colorful letters. So let's go back to maybe a different brush head. And this time I will... Oh wait, I'm still in eraser mode. I'm going to save this one though. And I'm not saving it right. Again, there's still stuff for me to learn. Go with that guy. And actually using the textures and not some random image I can come in. And I'm just pulling away from the mountain and creating... I'm keeping the top of the mountains, but I'm pulling away and creating some really cool little textures. I can increase the size of the texture just with increasing the size of the brush if I really want to do some heavy edit. But that kind of gets rid of our harsh chaos, so it doesn't all look the same. And you can see right there, I'm getting a very nice and a very natural edit off those mountains. Okay, with the harsh chaos all the time, it made it so everything looked exactly the same with the mountains. And now with the new textures that I'm doing, that I'm pulling away from those mountains, I'm actually now texturing everything that it's looking different. And I can choose if it's a texture of a highland, a lowland. I can create brushes off satellite images now that will allow me to... I can go in and create an image that if I want a desert, I just go grab a desert off Google Earth. I make it black and white, and boom, I have a desert brush. If I want an alpine, you know, kind of an alpine feel or a Rocky Mountains, I'll just go freaking grab the Rocky Mountains and make a brush out of that and throw the Rocky Mountains down. And I can make more Rocky Mountains to create more. See, I mean, there's that. Now I can merge this down. Now I'm going to go in and recolor everything, maybe with kind of a light green. So all looks the same. Put up my opacity and pressure. That is a horrible green. I made a bad choice there. That is an even worse choice. That's not the best choice. But you see how that blends? You see how I've got these natural looking mountains? And again, three-dimensional, 3D loading, saves me a lot of time, space. We've got this done literally in half an hour using real world stuff. In theory, I can also do this with lakes, rivers. I'm now in this map. Let's go ahead and come back to our brush. And I'm now editing the actual texture and coastline. I can go in, I can go like to the coast of Africa. I can grab the actual coastline. I can create a brush from the coastline, and I can have a realistic texture on a coastline. So I said I'm not going to review it, but hats off to you guys in ArtRage. Thank you so much for this. Well done. All right, guys. That's about it from me. You get the idea of what's going on here. Later this week, we're going to go in more in depth with this. I'm going to get a little bit more creative with this. We're going to play with this a little bit more. Looks like I actually killed some transparency. That might be a little bit of a bug there. So, we can fix that though. Pretty easy. Yeah, transparency should have locked. So I will just... We'll do it this way. There we go. Simple, simple. Yeah. Easy peasy there. We just put down a flat layer below it. That's an easy fix for now. Cool. Okay. My name's Dan. I forgot to do this. My name's Dan. Super excited to explore this more. Again, we're painting with actual landforms now instead of technique. We'll get these brushes up sometime this week. I'll announce it on Facebook once they're up. This has been ArtRage 6. This has been All About Novus. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm really excited about this. Look for another video this week. Next week and the week after, we will be getting into actual 3D printing of these maps and maybe even some painting. Show you guys how to make your own 3D printed maps from ArtRage and how to do height elevations and a bunch of other stuff. These are, and again, if you have ArtRage 5 and 6, you'll be able to do this too. Thank you so much for coming and have a great day.